Why the Trump cult thinks like children do. There's a psychological reason for that. Before age 11, the human brain can't think abstractly. It processes the world in concrete terms. One cause, one villain, one answer. This is a developmental stage most people grow out of. But most people aren't Trump supporters. Psychologist Jamie Lugeri at Yale University studied what happens when you shift people between concrete and abstract thinking and then measure their political beliefs. What he found was wild. He found that when conservatives are thinking concretely, they are significantly more intolerant than liberal people are. They're more tribal, more hostile to anyone outside their group. Psychologists call this construal level theory. It measures how the brain shifts between concrete and abstract thinking. But when researchers force conservatives into abstract thinking, basically the way adults think, that lack of tolerance disappeared completely. Political orientation stopped predicting intolerance. This prejudice was not a deeply held belief. It was just a setting. It only existed when conservative brains were operating at the level of a child. But here's the problem. Conservatives don't shift into abstract thinking on their own. Researchers had to force them into abstract thinking. Without that push from the researchers, conservatives' default thinking mode is that of a young child. Listen to that again. Unless someone forces them to think abstractly, they never think like an adult. Not because they can't think like an adult, but because they are lazy thinkers. They default to the simplest cognitive mode the brain has available, and they never leave that mode. That's why propaganda works on MAGA and nobody else. Trump says immigrants are destroying the country. That is a concrete sentence. One cause, one villain, a 10-year-old could understand it. And that's the point. Trump speaks exclusively in child mode. Every sentence, every rally, every post. One enemy, one solution, one leader. He's speaking to adults the way you speak to children, and they love him for it. Trump is the first politician who makes the world as simple as their brain needs it to be. These people would rather be told what to think than do the work of thinking for themselves. MAGA isn't a political party. It's a cognitive disability.